Welcome back. A growing number of companies have decided to stop advertising on Facebook. Late last week, the social media giant announced it will crack down on hate speech and flag posts when the content spreads disinformation. It is about face that comes just after a month after Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg refused to censor political posts. Here with more, tech consultant and host of the podcast Think About This, Shelly Palmer. Shelly, good morning. Now, I know you have done some consulting work for Facebook, so you do have a connection there, but talk to viewers about how this really affects their revenue.
Look, this is taking a bite out of Facebook. There is no question about it. You've got Unilever and Verizon and Honda and now Starbucks and Diageo. These are giant advertisers. These are very big companies with very big advertising budgets, and Facebook is feeling it for sure. But they've also immediately responded. They had actually responded beforehand. They just hadn't responded enough in the eyes of the Stop Hate for Profit group, which is a consortium of civil rights organizations that have a point that there's a lot of hate speech on Facebook. In fact, there's a lot of hate speech across social media, and it's about time for it to stop. So yes, Facebook's definitely feeling it, and yes, there's a good reason. All social media, not just Facebook, across the board, needs to clean up its act.
Yeah, Shelly, but I do want to point out the fact that we did reach out to Facebook, and it's not like they're not doing anything, but this is what they wrote back to us. Investments we have made in AI mean that we find nearly 90% of hate speech. We take action before users report it to us. Well, a recent EU report found Facebook assessed more hate speech reports in 24 hours than Twitter and YouTube. We know we have more work to do, and we'll continue to work with civil rights groups, GARM, and other experts to develop even more tools, technology, and policies to continue this fight. So if they're finding 90% of it, what else do you think they have to do to get that extra 10% and make sure that that's completely erased? Or is that even possible?
So that's, look, they've got 99.9% of terrorism and nudity they can do automatically. But let's think about it just rather than throwing stones at Facebook or all social media. If you say immigrants should not live in America, that's not hate speech, that's a political statement. If you say black people should not live in America, that's hate speech. Yeah. So that's a pretty subtle contextual sentence, and you've got to find that inside of a post. It's just really hard to do. And, take something as volatile or difficult as the N-word. If a white person says it, there's a really good chance it's not in a good way. If a black person says it, it might be okay, if it's ever okay. And how could you know that? You'd need to know the context. Facebook doesn't ask your ethnicity. They're going to have to infer your ethnicity. It's not a question that they ask you to fill out when you get your profile together. So they have to figure out what your ethnicity is, and they have to figure out the context of your ethnicity to the statements you're making. This is a formidable task for anybody or anything, and they've got 35,000 full-time people looking at posts, but it's really a daunting task. So they're doing the very best they can. They know it's not enough. I spoke to some people at Facebook yesterday in advance of this and asked hard questions, and I got good answers, but they understand that this is a daunting problem. They also told me that they will invest whatever it takes financially to solve this problem, and I think people should know that. They're trying their best. That said, this is a real problem, and you can't, no matter what they say they're doing, they have to act. We have to see it, and I think everybody has to be reasonable in their expectations, because the tech is hard, but that doesn't mean they aren't trying, and it doesn't mean we shouldn't give them some credit for trying. It also means we shouldn't let up, because to be fair, Bianca, this is a very big problem for absolutely everybody, and it's good that Facebook wants to solve it. Let's hope that they do.
Yeah, Shelly, thank you so much for that.